I never did get a chance to tell her that when we were working together, a lot of times we would just make up stuff that we really didn't have to do. So
Right.
you avoided that list.
Yes, exactly. Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Honey, I didn't say that. I swear I didn't.
Yes, he
that
did.
was Rob.
Yes, he did.
Rob said that. No, honey, you know I love you. And you tell me to do something, and I get the last two words. Yes, dear.
We made many trips with him saying, thanks for getting me out of there. She had a list of stuff for me.
Wait, whoa. Come on, man. You see? Uh-huh.
Brought to you by Defense Forensic, where we find the truth in data. Hello and welcome to Digital Forensics Redefined podcast. This week I sat down with retired Special Agent Greg Phillips from the Wisconsin Department of Justice, Division of Criminal Investigation. Give us a little bit of your background. When did you get into law enforcement?
Back in 1865, right after the Civil War. No.
It was a couple years after that.
Yeah, a couple of years after that. Actually, back in 1984, I was hired by Bloomfield Township Police Department.
That's in Wisconsin?
Yep, and just south of Lake Geneva. And I was the first minority police officer for that department. And then I went to work for Lake Geneva Police Department shortly after about 2 years. And during that time, I was a patrolman. While I was with Bloomfield, we had a chief, a sergeant, me, and 6 part-timers. So I did all the follow-up investigations for the part-timers.
Oh, okay.
So
that was kind of your... leading into your detective career.
Exactly. Right? I was the detective and patrolman, that kind of thing. And then with Lake Geneva, I was sent to the Wisconsin Department of Justice Drug School, and then I was assigned to the Illinois State Police as a task force agent. I mentioned that earlier, and which meant I had jurisdiction in 2 states, Illinois and Wisconsin. And under the auspices of the Illinois State Police in Illinois and Wisconsin Department of Justice in Wisconsin, obviously. Duh.
No way.
Yes way. And then after a while, after I went back to uniform with LGPD,
Lake Geneva.
LGPD, Lake Geneva. I was offered a job with Wisconsin Department of Justice, and with them.
What year was that? Just so for.
1999, 98, 99, something like that. DOJ, Department of Justice, Wisconsin Department of Justice, sent me to firearms instructor school. And initially, I started out as a narcotics investigator, a narcotics special agent. But then we merged, and we started doing everything. Not only did I investigate narcotics, but I investigated murder-for-hire cases. I was actually a paid hitman. That was kind of fun. That really was. Not that I really hit anybody. Well, anyway, no, I didn't. But that was pretty fun. I had murder-for-hire cases. I did child pornography investigations, which I hated with a passion.
Now, at what point during your career did you do that? That obviously requires a little bit. That's a little different investigation than you'd be used to.
Oh, yeah.
It's not it's not the street crimes. It's more technology based.
Yeah, that really was technology based. We had a section in DOJ DCI that did nothing but monitor certain websites and that kind of thing. And
now, wasn't there a period of time? And maybe this makes sense to you, but like you might have been working narcotics or you might have been working major crimes or whatever, but you also got a handful of child pornography
Yes.
cases, every agent kind of just
Yes.
had got a few to work on. Like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
amongst
we
the-
all did. And what really I didn't like about it more than anything else, other than the fact that it involved children, was the fact that we were assigned a case, and we would all be assigned videos to review. And when we were assigned to view these videos, we were looking for indicators that they were possibly victims from NECMEC or, some of these other high-profile agencies that had been storing pictures of abused children from around the world.
So you were trying to identify new child victims or relate it to some other victim that was already
Exactly.
identified in some other video or somewhere else.
Yes. Now, the thing is with child pornography cases, as you well know, Rob, as we talked about this a little bit earlier, I could identify people in these videos and that kind of thing, but would you always try to bring a case into to a prosecutor just based on the videos? And that was not one of our procedures. We would oftentimes go out and actually determine from executing search warrants and that kind of thing, how these people, if these people were actually part of an investigation. Or one incident, we executed a search warrant at a sheriff's deputy's house. And he was actually sitting in front of his computer looking at child pornography, drinking beer when we executed the search warrant at his house. One of the cases one of my last cases before I retired, I got this guy, and I interviewed him. Well, I spent like 2 days reviewing the videos, and I could have just gone with that. But what did happen is I went out, and myself and another investigator went out, and we interviewed him. And during the interview, he confessed to being involved in the viewing and distribution of child pornography. And we presented the evidence to the prosecutor of the case, and he preferred charges, and we went back and arrested him, because I didn't arrest him right away.
Sure.
I wanted to give the prosecutor an opportunity to review all my evidence to determine whether there was probable cause to believe that a crime had been committed.
Right. Well, those type of cases, I mean, even back, you retired roughly when?
2011.
2011. So, and we've talked about that a little earlier as well, the evolution of technology and
Right.
things, and those type of investigations and reviewing, stuff that's transmitted on computers and stored in the cloud and stuff. I mean, that didn't exist then, and it was
Right.
It was a lot of work, and it was hard to backtrack and figure out where this stuff came from, more so than it is now because of the technology.
Exactly. And even though we did have forensic investigators working on this, we didn't always know the origination of places as well as we do now.
Sure.
Which makes a difference.
Sure. And then you retired in 2011.
Yeah, I retired. Well, and see, also while working for DOJ, DCI, I did follow-up investigations for the Wisconsin State Patrol in the western half of Wisconsin, from La Crosse, Wisconsin, all the way down to Walworth County, Wisconsin.
And I'm guessing that drug follow-up mostly.
Most of the time, yes. sometimes we got, I actually arrested a fugitive, a federal fugitive that had been, as they say on television, on the lam for over a year.
That was back when they had rabbit ears on
Yeah.
the TVs. Yeah.
Yeah, we wrapped tinfoil around the rabbit ear. Broward Crawford. Oh, you don't remember Broward. You're too young for Broward Crawford. No, Highway Patrol. That was my movie back then.
Is that like Chips? I remember Chips.
Chips. Yeah. Well, yeah. Ponch and John and Ponch.
Yeah.
On the motorcycles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back then, but then I retired in 2011. But after retiring, I continued with my firearms instruction, and I have a business called Phil Safe LLC, PHILLSAFE, and I'm out of Madison, and I teach not to make a living. I teach to make a difference, because there are so many instructors out there in this world that are teaching people to shoot firearms in a stupid way or in a dangerous way or even in an illegal way.
So you're teaching civilians?
Mostly civilians, yes.
Is that the concealed carry classes we hear about?
Yep, the CCW, the Wisconsin and Illinois CCWs. I can teach anything. And I teach handgun, shotgun, and rifles.
So when they go through, when you teach a course, they can get their whatever
Wisconsin
license?
Concealed Carry Permit,
or
Florida, Minnesota, or Illinois, depending on where they live and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's keeping you going in retirement here, huh? A little bit.
Well, yes, that and my wife's honey-do list. Yeah. I mean, it's like.
Well, I don't know if she's gonna, watch our podcast or whatever, but I never did get a chance to tell her that when we were working together, a lot of times we would just make up stuff that we really didn't have to do. So
right.
You avoided that list.
Yes, exactly. Wait a minute. Whoa. Honey, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I swear I didn't.
Yes, he
that
did.
was Rob.
Yes, he did.
Rob said that. No, honey, I love you. And you tell me to do something, and I get the last two words. Yes, dear.
We made many trips with him saying, "Thanks for getting me out of there." She had a list of stuff for me.
Wait, whoa. Come on, man. You see? Uh-huh.
I think she likes me better anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true. And she puts up with me. So, now, wait a minute. You started when?
In law enforcement?
No, selling Girl Scout cookies on Tuesday. What? Yes, law enforcement.
Oh, gosh. I started in 96.
Okay.
I started in 96.
Where'd you start? How did you start? You started in 96?
Yeah, 1996. I started with Monroe County, the Sheriff's Department.
Really?
Yeah, there was two of us that graduated together in 95.
From nursery school?
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, I started there in the detective bureau, and the other guy wanted to write tickets and be a patrol uniform guy, so he went to that. My first case was investigating allegations of a sexual assault of a police chief in a neighboring county.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even know where the keys to a car to get there were at the time. I was like brand new, but everybody else knew him, so they couldn't do it. They said, "Here's your car. Take some notes, do what you got to do." And by the way, he's the police officer. So that was my first case, I guess, so to speak. Thanks for watching this episode of Digital Forensics Redefined, featuring retired Special Agent Greg Phillips. Thanks for watching our podcast this week, brought to you by Defense Forensic, where we find the truth in data. And before you go, please make sure to click that subscribe button and post any comments you may have about this week's episode below. Also, check out our website at defenseforensic.com for more information on services for individuals and organizations that require expert analysis of digital evidence. And once again, join us right here on YouTube for future episodes.